My name is Dinakar. I am a consultant, help companies improve their performance. In the back of my face, when you get to see my face, it is all about the daily standing meeting. And that's the kind of a linchpin or the backbone of any company. And I basically uh, believe I'm pretty good at making sure that the daily standing meeting works well. And that's what our clients pay us for. So I get the teams to start working on the daily standing meetings, and in the process also get them to start thinking using a Socratic methodology, which is what I call as doHow. That's my brief introduction. And I also am a volunteer for organizing the Sit Chat, which is a weekly event every Thursday evening at 8:30 on some topic of interest to the startup community. And what you see on the screen are the various topics which we can talk about. And today, our topic is something very different, but extremely important to any startup company, especially because of the amount of time that the founder has to devote to the startup. It's about building happy families apart from a robust startup. A robust startup is anyway our goal as a founder. Apart from that, to build happy families. For this, we have with us uh, Anuradha Singh, who is very, what should I say, well qualified, well read, well experienced person in the space of family welfare, kid welfare, and she's really helping a lot of specially able kids to improve themselves and to really become more aware of the world around them and contribute better and also be happy in their respective lives. With that very brief introduction, I will now want to show you the disclaimer, which is equally important. Our chat is mainly for information and to some extent entertainment. And it is important that you consult specialists before you really take any decision or any hint from this chat, because expert professional advice is more definitely important and more important than what we say here. So that's something which I want to just show, and then I unshare my screen and then give the task to Anuradha to start uh, once again introducing yourself a little more in detail, and then share your wisdom on building happy families first, and after that we will have a chat on what your ideas are and what can we learn further from that. Please go on, Anu. Over to you.
Good evening, everybody. It is a pleasure to join a group that is totally different from what I actually do, and meeting different walks of, meeting people from different walks of life is so always had been a very exciting thing for me. And I am Anuradha, and I'm a special educator, and I am founder of Help Me Fly organization that thrives for bringing in financial stability to children with special needs. And I'm also working as consultant to schools. And today I'm here to share my little wisdom on or my experiences. I would rather be, humble to say that they are only experiences. And I'm here to share with all of you how to bring up a happy family. And today, my talk is going to be very simple. You need not have to have slideshows, nothing. Just sit back, relax. I'm sure half of you would have had your dinner, and sit back and relax and assimilate and absorb whatever I'm saying, so that these red flags will become handy when you look at children at your own place or other families, or when you look at situations at your place or other families or your near and dear ones. So sit back and relax. And firstly, I should congratulate the bravery of the startups that you are into. I would like to call you all startup champions, because it's not easy to take a step of this sort where you have your ideologies, bringing it into action and bringing it into a process where you give employment. And I'm not oblivion of the fact that you guys all have your share of difficulties. While I talk my share of happy family, I'm not dismissing or ignoring the fact that you have to undergo tremendous stress. For example, I know that you need to set up the processes. I know you need to work extra hours for the same salary. I know you need to organize your teams. I know you have to, you have had your, startup long ago, and now you have to concentrate on the market. Maybe the funders uh, are extracting money now. I mean, they need their share of money now. Maybe you need to look at the markets, and maybe you need to focus on the sales now. I'm all aware of this. And one major problem would be, the founder's passion versus the employees, technical support. So I know there are huge differences sometimes. So I know you are all putting up with so many other things, rather than just, being the startup and making a statement of, giving employment to a lot of people. Now, today's talk will be, first let us understand the importance of the family. Family is a social unit, the basic social unit, the primary social unit, where you have economic, your ecosystem, well established ecosystem, where you have economic support, where you have emotional support from each other, where you have elderly care, where you have an ecosystem where you support if somebody falls sick. So all these factors give you a very strong, make you a very confident person, makes you a very strong person. And these families, in turn, at large, will become a society, and they contribute to society at large. So in that case, don't we think that our family system has to be strong? Our family system has to be healthy. Our family system has to be, happy. So that is the whole motive. And being a of today's talk, and being a special needs educator, and being in that domain, and looking at the world around me, where we have so many slow learners, mental disorder, children with mental disorders, children who are differently abled, children who have disabilities, and people are not very aware of this. So, I want this community, this startup community, to be aware of this, what is happening in your own family and what is happening in your surroundings, and so that you'll act quickly and make an attempt to bring in some balance in the life. So, starting with to start with, for example, I have two. I described these. Your startup community into two, pertaining with relevance to what I'm talking. These two categories would be one with commitment, the other without commitment. Without commitment, let us talk first. You might be young entrepreneurs. You might have parents who are well off. You might have a family parents who are well off, and you're not yet married. You don't have a spouse. You don't have children. So it is, first 2-3 years you thought you would check with your entrepreneur skills. And if it flies, it flies. Otherwise, you'll get back to employment. This is one category of people. The second category of people would be with large commitments, where you have parents, the extended family, where you have spouse, where you have children, and where you have financial commitments, where you have emotional commitments, and many more. So our main focus would be with the second category of the families where they have lot of commitments. Now, I will start off with the simple example. So let us see what are the signs that your job is affecting you and your family. We all should understand that job and family are interdependent. How many of you agree with me? I think mostly everybody knows that job and family are interpersonal and interdependent, and they affect each other. Does it ring a bell when I say that your surroundings are irritable? and people are irritated with you. You are impatient with your kids. You are impatient with your parents, or you are impatient with your spouse. Does it ring a bell to anybody? If it
Yeah, quite
doesn't,
often.
yeah, if it doesn't, I'm happy. But if it does, then I think somewhere your work is affecting you. You're very impatient with your children, which means you
No, not
need.
very impatient, but sometimes it happens. It's not that always you are impatient, but sometimes it could happen, right? It is not.
Yeah,
I
sometimes,
can.
I mean, this is the recurring aspect.
No, not recurring. Sometimes.
Sometimes it's still okay, because sometimes the children also can be very mischievous. So, I mean, sometimes they are irrational too. So, I mean, most of the times when you don't have time to listen to your children, when you don't have time to listen to your spouse, or sometimes when your spouse is irritable, where, if it is a lady of the house, she is running around to make arrangements for the day to, supply your entire day's meal, or packing you all guys to the work, and she herself has to go to the work. All these things, if you are facing that, then I'm sure your involvement in the daily activity of that area is needed. Your spouse is not able to tell you, but she needs you, and vice versa. If you are doing the chores, and if you're dividing, I mean, if you are doing the chores and your spouse is taking up the job, vice versa. So that is when unheard or unseen words have to be heard and seen. You need to be alert to these things, and so that is when you need your contribution in helping your wife or spouse. Can I ask you, when did you last go out with the family? Or when did you last watched a movie with the family? Or when did you last took out your spouse on a date, irrespective of your age?
So it was about 10 days back for me. We went to watch Mission Impossible.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm dealing with a lot of very sensible people here who are who are balancing work and life, I guess. So, I mean, that is one thing that you often need to do. You often, when is it that you both, you and your spouse, sit for some time in a day?
Maybe
At
late
least
night.
late night.
Late
Okay.
night.
So sometimes it could be a cup of tea in the morning. Sometimes it could be a late night chat, or however, but sit with your spouse for some time. Make an attempt to sit with your children for some time. Thirdly, there is one incident that I wanted to let you know. I mean, like, there are people who are very busy in startups or work, and they work elsewhere sometimes. They are not with their family. And once in a while, when they come back to their houses or visit their family, they're extremely on their guilt trip, I mean, like, they're not happy seeing them once in a while. So what happens? They bring in a lot of gifts. That is overindulgence. That is a result of your guilt trip. But I don't even think, that the child needs. I have seen a parent who lives in Bombay, comes back once in 2, 3 months. And when the child asks, there is a whole lot of stationery that comes home. Stationery is not a bad thing, but definitely it's not all that it is used. Every time he comes, there is stationery. I don't even think the child needs so much, but she demands. And unfortunately, the child is undergoing anxiety disorders, the child is undergoing depression, the child has psychopath issues. So this is what I mean. These are the red flags. You may think, working elsewhere, not being with the family, is still can be taken care by the mother, single parent. But definitely, absence of the father will be, or one of the parent will be traumatic. I'm sorry about this. I
Don't
just, I
don't
just
worry.
recovered from a little, allergic thing. So I think it is triggering again.
No problem. if you're okay, we can engage in a discussion. Then you can get a small pause. Now, by the time she gets the pause, once in a call, would you have any comment to make? Amarji, you can possibly share some wisdom by the time she gets some relief. Go on, Amarji.
Yeah. Good evening, Dinakar sir, and wonderful speaker today we have. Sharing some realistic views of how family lives today run. Everyone is facing a trauma in some way or the other with children or parents having with children, vice versa. I think so. She's explaining the right format where things are going wrong with us, because as human beings, as family people, in a routine work, we don't understand why this triggers. So I think so. She's letting us know where the trigger is happening, and we need to understand this as a serious issue, as we are all into a stage of nuclear families. So we are dependent at some point of time on someone, being our children, or the parents depending on the children, or children depending on parents. And as she rightly said, that when we come back after a long time, we bring in a lot of baggage of gifts to children. This pampering is also costing us much dearly than anything else today. We need to give value system to our children. That is more important. I feel that's the best way to go with.
Yeah, I think that's very, very important. Anybody else have any comment? Otherwise, we'll ask Anuradha to continue.
She's having a bad throat, I think so.
Yeah, you can get back now. Yeah, back on track.
So this indulgence is your own guilt trip. Somewhere that you are not doing justice to your family. Again, that same person takes the wife out and buys everything that is needed for the home. But where is the emotional support? Where is the discussion that needs to happen? Where is the person when she is facing, the situations with the child who has a mental disorder? Where is where is her physical support, where she has, a down day, a down moment? Where is the support of the spouse, where he can pitch in to, cook a little bit, or to say that today you take rest and I'll do the cooking, or I'm there to take care.
Life is more balanced, ma'am. Life is more balanced if both the partners work in tandem.
Exactly, sir. Exactly. So, I mean, these are the things.
And I think you were talking about a child who is having some mental issues. But I think it's not only for children with mental issues. Even without mental issue, what you're telling is something which is applicable for every family, right?
Everybody, in fact. But here, the point is, I mean, even when the child was born, the father was not around.
Yeah.
The trauma has continued from then. I mean, the absence of the father has created some kind of a trauma to her. Maybe the mother was sad. We really do not know the reasons, we cannot pinpoint on one particular reason every time. So that of course it is applicable to all the families with the normal typical kids also. So I mean, even parents with normal kids also face similar. I think it's bad.
Yes, I think I know what you are telling is that if in case there is no time given, I think it's giving the quality time, be it to the mother, be it to the spouse or to the kid. If that quality time is not given, then I think the situation worsens, is what I understand.
Absolutely. Correct. And most of the times, the spouse, the kids are unseen and unheard. Do you remember? I mean, I'll just demonstrate, because you will find a lot of drama, because I'm a special educator. So, okay, some spouse is calling the husband. Yeah, 1 second, I'm coming. Yeah, I'll just finish this and I'm coming. Yeah, 1 second, hold on. Does it ring a bell? A lot of places, yes. I know that your work is very important. But this is where it might be a very small thing. But this is where people or your family members are unseen and unheard. You may come back. You may get to them. You may listen to them at a later point in time. But that doesn't help. By the time their anxiety, their issue, their everything would have been cooled down a little bit. Or even if it is a happy news, the enthusiasm to tell you would have died by then.
No, but tell me, such situations are quite common, right? And how
Yeah.
would you rectify without really causing any major what is the word for that deviation?
Correct.
See, once this should be small triggers, and how do you
Yes.
rectify it quickly?
So this is, I mean, this phone or this is, I'm sure you're not entertaining yourself. I'm sure you're giving some email or you're checking some mail. So my suggestion would be, have boundaries, switch off. You work whatever you have to work at office. And if you have to respond to the mails, have a specific time. Get into a corner. If you have an office room, fine. Otherwise, get into a corner. That time, please make it very clear to the entire family that this is your mail giving time. Later, please do not.
No, but
Switch
my
off.
question was, that is in terms of the prevention, correct?
Yeah.
What you're talking about is prevention. What would be the correction? Imagine a situation where I got involved into something similar to that with my spouse or my kid or somebody.
Yeah.
And then I realized, now that, let us say I've heard you, I realized that those things are all little critical. Then I know it is critical, but I don't know how to set it right. What would you suggest as the solution for setting it right? How would one go about setting it right? Many a times it could be that kind of a guilt which is making people to buy gifts, to say that, look, I've given a gift, now it will get settled down.
Yeah.
So what could be the options of settling down such minor disturbances?
Materialistic gifts are not going to solve your issues, not going to solve your problems. Please go to your spouse or children, apologize. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Henceforth, this will not repeat. And
Okay.
stand by your word. You can change it at any point in time. It's not too late. Until and unless it's been beyond your control, where the child or the spouse would have gone into depression.
Okay.
It is still manageable. Please change your actions, change your behavior, apologize, have some time to talk to them, and have boundaries, have specific times to respond to your emails.
Yeah, I think we have Sharath.
put,
Sharath came up with something which is interesting. Sharath Irani, he says that people are much matured now compared to 25 years back.
Correct.
Both the members do understand the responsibility and they know how to manage time. Sharath, would you want to explain that thought of yours?
Yeah, Sharath here.
You can introduce yourself, please, before you explain, so that.
My name is Dr. Samuthána Consultancoaching, basically a doctorate, but not by the profession, it is by education. I am coming from the background of IT for last 30 years and now I have a startup and I am working at different activities. My wife is also working. I am almost reaching around 60 of my age. So what was happening earlier with 25, 30 years back, domination in terms of one person working and another person at home managing the home, that's all been gone now for at least for 10, 15 years. So both are working and other things are balanced and people know that within the home atmosphere, what is the income, what we need to spend, where we need to go on the weekends, they're all balanced. I think the definition and the discussion what we are looking at is, I thought, and it gave me an trigger. It's a old school of thought. Right now, whether we are balanced, whether we are equipped with the financial, economical, whatever is available, both the members of the family, whether we are talking about spouse or only the husband and wife, yes, we know that what is our limitation. Where do we stand in terms of what we need to do first, what we need to do second. Time management and responsibility, economics are well clear nowadays. I think that's not a problem and that's not a basic requirement to be established between the spouses. That's what I came
Sharath,
from.
I think you have woken up the lioness in Anu. Please go on.
No, nothing of that.
I'm sure there must be a lot of such incidents in the situation today, right?
I should have
There may
asked
be
the
one
age.
odd case. There may be one odd cases where there's a domination, there is a difference of opinion. There may be very odd cases. But the looking at the education because of the literacy, because of an exposure, that has been minimized a lot in terms of what is the priority, what we need to do. Managing the time, managing the family is almost there between both the couples. That's what I would say.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I'll
Sir,
go over to you.
Sharad, I have one thing to share
Yeah,
with
I
you.
would. Yeah, tell me, sir.
Sorry to interrupt in between both of you. You said today most of the children are having good education. But from my personal experience, let me tell you, my wife came from a very humble background, and she, in those days, 50 years back, when I got married, it was just those small schools where she went. But nevertheless, when I traveled abroad, I thought we thought building our careers was more important than anything else. So in the run to make ourselves better, what do you call, lives, we struggle to come up. And I think so our better halves understood us much better as what is happening today. The question of parity between two people is there, who is bigger. But earlier days there
That's
was a way of compromise, how to live
right.
with life.
And because that was one person earning, whether it
Yeah,
is a wife or
no,
a husband. Now it is both are earning. Money is not a question. It's only question of what we can say it as a show off. When it
yeah,
comes
yeah,
to
sure,
that
yes,
level,
yeah,
there's
yes,
a
sure,
difference of
I agree.
opinion, but
Yes,
other
yes, yes.
things are well balanced. There is no question of debate there.
No, the
Sir, I
balance is
have
very
a different
important.
opinion. I have a different opinion because my experience is with schools. So, I mean, like young children now who are 1 or 2 years old, I mean, like whose parents would be not more than 30, have special children now, have these children who put up tantrums, have these children who are depressed, have these children who are, differently abled. So it's not about, I mean, like you at 60 and me at 50 can say that we are well balanced now. Let us look back ourselves when we were in 20s and 30s. The current
Absolutely.
parents who are in 20s and 30s, it is their children. And I have come across children who are BTech, who are, who are into engineering, who are into, good adults who are 25, 26, who have border personality disorders. And the parents don't know about it. And the parents definitely would be more than 50 years. So I mean, like, at least I deal with every school, at least there are 10 to 12 children who are specially abled, either in mental disorders or in disabilities, physical disabilities.
The
So
Yeah,
trauma
I
is
have a
there.
point. I have a point to submit on this.
There's
For
a
the
trauma there.
submission is,
Trauma.
this problem I have also seen within my close family and association with friends and colleagues also. This is basically and majorly impacting because of the practicing hospitalities and doctorates. Because whatever technology come in, C-section and other forceps and whatever things, that is because of those things people or children getting born in nowadays are differently able. I have my own brother who is uh, eldest son is almost around 14 years now, is differently able. My close classmate who is of my age, his own daughter is now 26 years, she is differently able. There are many such cases I have seen personally. This is only because of the negligence and the urgency of getting money earned by the practicing,
Doctors.
the hospitals, doctors.
Absolutely.
Only
Absolutely. I
because
agree.
of that. Because of that, otherwise everything can be worked out. And majority of the cases are now building up for the differently. I have my the differently able school next to my home here. I
which one is
see
this, sir?
I'm from Pune. I'm from Pune. I'm basically
Okay.
connected from Pune. Next to
Okay.
my home, there is a school for differently abled. Earlier, it started with only 7 children. Now, this year admission is around 52.
See, I
Oh,
mean, like the number speaks for itself.
Specifically, it is all dependency about the practicing doctors and all the medical aids what we have, and it is urgency of getting cleared of everything. Nothing more,
Sir,
nothing less.
Sir,
Yeah, I think apart from that, yeah, Anu, go on. Apart from that, in my opinion, it could also be because of the general, what should I say, pressure in the society to perform better than what we had when we were kids. If you are around 60, then when you grow up, I don't think you would have had mobile phones, smartphones, internet, even
Absolutely. Even not
12th
even the
standard
TV.
coaching may not have been there, right?
Not even the TV.
Not
Sir,
even
Not,
TV.
no TV also, right? No TV.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the only way that we could, that's again another thing which possibly we can just give it to you, Anu, then you can start explaining about that.
Yeah, these
See,
are the external factors, sir. These are the external factors. I mean, doctors making, going for C-sections and all, they would have also had reasons. And not all doctors could be like that. But yeah, we cannot have a generalized and a blanket statement for external factors. But we cannot, and also we cannot dismiss certain things like, changes in brain chemicals. We cannot, I mean, we don't have any control over that. If somebody is born with a chemical imbalance, they act differently, they are depressed, they have disorders, they have anxiety. We can handle the stress, they cannot, because of this chemical imbalance. And some have family history, the way the parents are, I mean, if I know a case where a mother is a histrionic has a histrionic personality disorder, where she thrives for attention in some form or the other. She's a wonderful human being, there is no doubt about it, but she needs that kind of attention. She wants to take care of the entire house, and get the collar, get a pad on her back saying that without you we cannot survive. It's like that. And the child has the same histrionic personality disorder, and also some antisocial elements in her personality. Now, for the child, for her histrionic personality disorder to gain attention, she is going to an extent of being a pathological liar, where she cooks up umpteen number of stories which you will think are true, to an extent where that her dignity also will be at stake. She can cook up stories like that. When I asked during the part of counseling, when I asked, this is your dignity is at stake, why did you lie this? At least I'm getting attention, no? She doesn't
Yeah.
even know
ADHD is a very common nowadays.
This is not
Hence,
ADHD, sir. This is antisocial histrionic personality disorder. I mean, these are borderline personality disorders, which is very difficult to figure out. They are one among us. They get jobs. They study well. They're supremely intelligent, but they are depressed. They have anxieties. They have antisocial, personality within them. So these are, we cannot ignore the genetic factors. We cannot ignore the family history. Of course, there are, external factors like gadgets and all, which are not enabling us to have social relationships, interpersonal relationships with people. You are low in your mood, you simply scroll, you just text one friend, and that one friend talks nicely to you from Pune or elsewhere, and you're gratified. And there ends the matter. Where is the real friend? Where is the friend you're sharing something? Where is the friend you're sitting with and enjoying? Where is the friend you're having a shoulder to rest upon?
probably they don't have any physical attendance, so that's what they are creating these.
Exactly. I mean, you have instant gratification with the social media.
Yeah,
So
basically they want to show their presence.
Not only that, sir, even when they are little low, they may not share this problem with somebody, but they'll just quickly text somebody that somebody will talk nicely to them. Hey, how are you,
Right.
that, this, and all that, and their mood will be better. Their mood will be better. They're still not sharing. They still haven't shared their part of the gloomy,
Yes.
That's true.
Yep.
So that is still underlying. That is still under the blanket. When will it come out?
Our day, our mood depends on what we see early morning, at what message we have received. Our day begins that way.
Exactly.
Right.
So
See,
rather
there
than
was
I feel myself, when I get up, first thing is I pray to my Lord. Then I have to take blessing from my parents and then move to the temple. But today,
Yeah.
what we get up, we see the mobile. Well, what's there? Has someone wished you? Why he has not wished you? Or some message? We are happy. We are unhappy with seeing what we have seen on the social media. That's the biggest
At
cause,
least,
I think.
at least at our age,
Addiction.
at least
Addiction.
at our age, if we still want to practice the same practice of looking at God's face or looking at Guruji's face, whoever you believe in, you'll at least have a wallpaper at our age. I don't think children will do it. Yeah. So
They
Absolutely.
Sagar,
have they
Yeah, I
have their
think
heroes.
let's
yeah,
Whether
allow
it's a
Sagar to
sports
ask
or
a question. Sagar, you wanted to
Mr.
ask a question.
Sagar wanted to say something, sir.
Yeah, please go on, Sagar.
Hi, my name is Sagar, and I have two businesses of mine. One is into recruitment for manufacturing firms alone. Okay, I specialize in hiring mechanical engineers. The second one is I have a architectural design studio for sustainable architecture called as Creatrix Design Studio. We design residences, industries, and interiors for offices, etc. Okay. Now, I want to add one thing when we are talking about family. See, with respect to everything that we are talking, there is something called as an expectation that is there. Unfortunately, that is the coming from outside as well. But there are certain expectations within the family. See, outside, it is so very easy for us to air out our expectation, be it your colleague, be it your boss, etc. But within the family, there are so many other intricacies where you're not able to express your expectations. And these add on one after the other. And one fine day, a volcano bursts, and that is where the whole family. At that time, uh, somebody elder, okay, earlier we used to have elders at home. I am blessed. Uh, आपका आशीर्वाद रहे that I will have, I mean, I stay with my parents and that is happening. But what do you suggest with the new nuclear families where parents are not there together, the millennial families which are setting up migrated somewhere else? So if they are not with their parents, there are no elders to suggest. And two questions. One is about the expectations. Second one is these millennials who are not with their parents. How do they make a happy family?
See, at at family, the expectations, I think you need to have a clarity. You need to have a clarity as to what is the expectation. How old are your kids, sir, Mr. Sagar?
10 years.
10 years. 10 years. What would you expect them from them?
Listen to the parents, which he doesn't do.
Sir, that is the last thing we need to expect. That is the last thing we need to expect. Look at the child as an individual. Look at the child as an individual. Please respect their likes and dislikes. Listen to them. Give them a rational explanation of, I know all the time you may not have patience to do that, but that is what is needed. Give them a rational explanation of why what he is doing, what he or she is doing right, or why what he or she is doing wrong. Explain the repercussions, explain the consequences, and then ask them to be responsible.
Anuradha, one question I have for you. How much does the Western culture influence our children with our Indian culture? Is that a bigger
It is
trauma?
doing a lot. It is doing a
Is it
lot.
not disturbing? Is it not disturbing our lives?
It is doing a lot, sir. It is doing a lot. Even otherwise, I mean, like if you go to our gurukuls and all, though there was a discipline, though there was a directive teaching, though there was a sharp discipline, though the children were not allowed to talk, but when the things come, there were logical explanations. Even in the gurukul setup, there were logical explanations. Give them the consequence. You do this, you're going to face this. I mean, not as a punishment. Suppose a child is saying that today I want to go to movie. You decide, boss, this is your pocket money. You want to go to a movie today, or shall we save this to go for a dinner at a later date? Oppenheimer, wonderful movie. You want to watch this? Go ahead, fine. It will, enrich your knowledge. Otherwise, you want to save this money for dinner, choice is yours. One will be taken.
I think the point here is the parents are also should be blamed here. What are we preaching? What are we going to follow? What are we going to teach to our children? That's what is all important. If we are
Absolutely.
following to the show off and we are doing the follow up with Western culture, are we inculcating our own kids as an Indian culture? Being an Hindus, being an Indians, are we doing that? That will be first impression. If
First,
we
we
are
need
doing
to have our family values in place.
exactly. If we don't have that, and how do you expect your children to follow your words, and how do you expect them to obey you?
Suppose
It's a nuclear family, agreed. But if we are not doing any performance related to our own culture of the family or a culture or even the tradition or a caste or a creed, whatever, if we are not doing it our own, how do you expect that our children do follow that?
and
It's
with
a blame
regarding
to the parents only.
Yeah.
with regarding to expecting the child to listen to everything, I don't think that is the right thing to do, because you rational it out. You say if this is the behavior, you will be benefited. You make a timetable, you sit for these many hours, you study, and then you can go ahead with your playing or whatever. Make it an incentive. You want to watch TV on a daily basis, you finish this, you'll get an incentive. That is how they listen. Rationalize with them. Don't expect them to listen to you in everything.
Ma'am, I have to share one thing with you.
Yeah.
I came from a very traditional family. My parents were very traditional in their behavior and taskmasters they were. But nevertheless, he put us into European schools. I did all my education 50 years back in European schools. And having also traveled around the globe for more than 2 decades, even in the Western world, what I saw was there is a discipline for children.
Yes.
There's a discipline. It's not that they are not disciplined. They are disciplined. If you are supposed to, I went the first time and I just share my experience with you. I'd been to a friend of mine when I first traveled to US. The kid was there watching the TV. He was allowed to watch the TV once a week for just 1 hour. That's it. It's locked. So I think so. Discipline is there. Discipline is very important in life wherever you are. And I think so. Even when I got educated, there was discipline for us among our brothers. Even though we were European educated, but the discipline factor played a big role in our lives.
Sir, the problem is there is more discipline there actually. Children are grounded very often in the Western culture. They are grounded very often. The sad part is we are picking up the wrong culture from them. We are picking up what is convenient for us. The children are often grounded there. They follow the rules much more than what we do here. I have also lived abroad, and I had seen the children very, we have very disciplined, like how you mentioned, sir. I mean, if they have to watch TV for half an hour, they watch TV for half an hour only. No more discussions.
No more.
The rules are clear. The rules are set very clear. You need to stick by your rules. Somebody intervenes, or you have to go somewhere, or you have to you are busy with your thing, and then you allow your child to break the rule, and then that is gone.
Newton's third law of
That's
motion is
all
applicable.
implies, do we as a parents in Bharat, if we follow first, then we can inform
Exactly.
saying that this is what you have to do it. We are not doing it. We are not doing it. So that's the question here.
Irrespective of the religion and the culture and the country, I think parents have to be stern with their rules and regulations, that the clarity that they give to the children.
Role models. They have to become a role models.
That is very important. Even in the school, if a classroom is chaotic, which means the teacher did not have her set of rules clear. First rule, come and sit. Second rule, please take your books. All these, the clarity. Children are chaotic now because they don't understand what the parents are expecting from them.
So
Yeah,
the direction in which we are going is quite exciting to me. I want to just share my insights. We lived in Germany and Brazil. Our daughter was born in Brazil. And I've seen how the kids are brought up there and how the kids are brought up in India. See, first is when you have to feed a child. In India, what is done?
Show a TV, or in smaller villages, take the child outside. ये देखो बेटा गाय जा रहा है, ये देखो बेटा ये जा रहा है.
You
And
know how
then
it is done in
नहीं आजकल जमाना बदल गया, मोबाइल दे दो हाथ
आज
में.
की बात नहीं
mobile
है.
दे दो,
अब
mobile
आज
दे
तो
दो.
मोबाइल. आज तो
You know how it
मोबाइल.
is done in the Western world?
They are kept in a chair at the dining table. No other deviations.
No,
We
no.
all are
How
eating
does the child get used to the chair? That is important.
from the childhood, from when the child is in an infant stage.
Correct. So at that time, the child, see the same kind of a problem which you have in India, they also is there. You know, the child creates tantrums. The child wants to create attention, get attention. Every child has the same problem. Okay. They create tantrums. So when the tantrum is created, here in the Indian context, we always try to somehow please the child to get the food or whatever it is.
Yes,
right?
yes.
In the Western world, it is really merciless. You know, it's really quite horrifying to see. For the first couple of days, the child is screaming and shouting and all kinds of things. The mother just closes the door and comes out. That's all. The child doesn't have one meal. Period. No meal for the child. Only when the child gets ready to eat on the chair will the child get the meal. Till that time, no meal. You know,
So
and
you
that
have
is,
made.
I don't know whether that is good or bad. Okay.
No, sir, you have made a very valid point. You have made a very, very valid point. Now you should observe this. The child is throwing a tantrum. Your behavior is merciless. The next moment, in another issue, in another situation where the child is very good, your behavior should change. It should not be carried. So you switch your personalities.
Yeah,
the child will understand, if I am good, everybody else, my mother, my father, everybody else are good. If I am
but
bad,
that is not what is, see, that is not at all what is, I don't, see, there are a lot of, what do you call it as, these gurukulas, not gurukulas, you know, the movements, either Ravi Shankar movement or Sadhguru's movement, they all keep conducting classes for parenting. Okay. So if the classes for parenting were done, they've been already now 15, 20 years now. So we should have had a better situation. Whereas if you see, our situation is not really improving. I have got one chat here by Ishwar. Ishwar is silent, is there, but silent. Ishwar says, unfortunately, the depression among kids are more these days than earlier, which is very true. You know, and why is it increasing? Because of the combination of all these things. When we were kids, the only thing that I could do to spend the evening was to chat with a friend in front of my house for 4 hours standing without doing anything, because otherwise I didn't have anything to do. And now it is not the situation. A lot of gadgetry, a lot of technology is there, a lot of diversions are there. So therefore, I feel whether in company or in school or in communities, more and more we encourage people to come and discuss. See, I'm sure Amarji is coming here not because he's going to get any wisdom from you, Anu. He's basically coming here because he wants to meet a new person, right? Meet a new person, get to know a new person. And that particular ability, that particular quality which we had, he is continuously diminishing. I'm not sure how it can be improved in the education system, improved in the companies. You go to schools, you go to companies, maybe you should tell them, you know, how do you inculcate such a habit?
Sir, you have brought a very good point. This external stress also is a very, very, very important factor for making all the children, you know, to undergo some depression. We need to, external stress in the form of gadgets, external stress in the form of keeping in pace, keeping up to the mark with the, peer pressure. Peer pressure, external stress in the form of, studies, external stress in the form of, achievements. So at home, we need to first make it clear or make it a habit or explain to the children, saying that achievements are not the only, things that you need.
Yes,
you
very
have
well said.
so many things in life.
That's the biggest pressure.
So many other things in life.
That's the biggest pressure. Well said.
So I mean, like one of the parents' child is. I'll cite a little, this thing. Example. One of the child. One of the parents, a couple's child is into MBBS. She is very clear. Mama, I can study only so much. Don't expect me to become be there in the class first, but I'll become a good doctor. I promise you that. I'll pass all the exams. I'll become a good doctor. We should respect that.
Yeah, very true. Very true. And that maturity is not very often, right? Many don't have that maturity.
That has to come from childhood.
And from the parents also. The parents have to inculcate that maturity.
Of course, from the parents. It's okay not to be in the class first. It's okay not to participate in everything. It's okay to go in a Tata Indica car where other, other parents are bringing umpteen number of, brands of cars. It's okay to be a certain way, dressed in a certain way. I mean, not going for brands. So
social stigma. Social stigma.
Exactly. I'm simply, I'm talking in a very layman's, language, giving examples, because this will ring a bell more than the, jargon that we use. So
we are almost at the end. Half 1 hour is what we normally take. So for me, I felt first thing is you spoke about various topics. I think whatever you spoke came from the heart. And there's a tremendous amount of passion in what you do. I'm sure your kids also must be feeling that. So hearty congratulations to you on that.
Thank you.
I felt this chat was very lively, is what I felt. And
yes.
In terms of the final takeaway, I feel it's about basically all of us as founders or executives are trying to reflect and find out how good and how often are we giving the quality time to our loved ones, just to hearing them out, listening them out. Okay. That is, I think, the key is what for me the biggest takeaway.
I think so. Very well said, sir. Very correctly said.
That's true.
That's true.
That is the main building block. How much time, quality time that we are giving to family members. It defines not only the family, happy family, but also, healthy society.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ishwar. And,
how much do you know your child? How much do you know your child? How much do you know your wife? And then later on, I'm going to a very, extreme level of saying that later on, don't say, okay, my wife cheated on me, my husband cheated on me. Don't. How much do you know them? How much do you know your children? How much are you involved with them? What are you speaking? How much participation is there? Please respect your children, even if the child is 5 years. Please respect the child as an individual.
Trust your children. Trust your children.
Trust your children. Trust your children.
Thank you so much.
Make sure that they talk to you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. And I wish there were more audiences. Anyways,
we'll plan once more.
Yeah,
and my request is, as usual, our Amarji will basically close the session. So go on over to you, Amarji, for your final remarks.
Thank you, Dinkarji, and thank you, Anuradhaji, for the wonderful talk you gave us today. Two, three takeaways that I understand, as Dinkarji said, that we need to give a quality time to our children. That's a must of life. Our ethics, values of life, as Indians or not as human beings, we should give share this with our children. And the end game with every parent is we are all in pursuit of happiness. So I think so. We should share our vision with our children. What you want. And I think so that will bring a lot of happiness. And as a Rotarian, as I work with physically disabled children, I think so there's a lot to I've been learning each day. And when hearing such talks from people like you, it encourages for me to be a passive learner again. What better I can do in life tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That's the best.
Sharatji, thank you also for a very lively debate.
And I should thank Sharatji for joining today. Welcome
My
to
pleasure,
you,
sir.
sir.
My pleasure. I'm more interested to communicate and connect with you all.
Yeah,
Sure, sir,
yes, to the
absolutely.
networking, as I always tell, networking, we say, Anuradha ji, that WhatsApp पे message भेज दो हो गया सब कुछ होते हैं, no. Networking is where you talk to people,
Yes.
share
Yes.
your heart. You share
Yes.
your heart.
And shake
हमारे
hands
दिल की बात करो.
personally.
मैं तो
Dil ki baat
Shake
personally,
hands personally.
yeah,
Yeah.
that brings a lot of joy to our lives. I think so. We're all as nuclear families. I always talk that we are dependent. Tomorrow, 2 children, 1 children. We miss them sometimes when they are not with us. I think that trauma is also a bigger issue with
Yeah,
lives
yeah.
today. So
That's
we need to
another
very-
story
understand
of
this.
life.
I'm glad to have Mr. Sharad, sir. I mean, like, he's a certified counselor from Nimans, is what I say. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to learn a lot from you. I'm a very small counselor and a special educator. Love
It's
to learn
always
from
a
you, sir.
learning for me, sir, madam. You are
Hey,
always
so
welcome.
mutual.
Please get me
Saraji, I have
connected.
to share with you during 21-22 when I was president of my club as Rotary Southwest. I think we donated machines worth more than 50 lakhs to Nimans.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Oh,
Very
Very
good.
encouraging. Good to know.
So
Good to
it
know.
was, we gave
Would
well
the
connected.
others like to open up their cameras so that I can take
Yeah.
a small snap of all the people present if you are interested in?
Where are you from, Anuradha ji? Where are you from?
I'm from Bangalore.
Bangalore. Wow, that's nice to know. Nice
Yes.
to get connected with you. The Wonder Woman. Thanks to Sneha
Thank
Bhai,
you.
the Wonder Woman. I welcome you as a Wonder Woman. She
Thank
said,
you. Thank you. Honored. Thank you.
Yeah.
Honored to be
Yes.
And
But-
lively.
lively
Apart from her
discussion.
bad throat, very
Yes.
lively.
Yeah,
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, that's you take care, ma'am. Get well soon. That's all I can say.
Get well
Thank you.
soon. Get well
Thank you
soon.
Thank you so much.
I would
Thank you
request.
so
Okay.
much.
I would
Thank
request
you. Thank
everybody
you.
to
Bye-bye.
come online so that we
Bye.
can take a picture.
Yeah.
I'm having my day.